Hey, welcome to World Scope Updates. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The news flashed across screens globally. China accepts Philippines' offer on South China Sea. Few believed it at first. Analysts scrambled for confirmation. Seasoned diplomats expressed cautious surprise. The headline itself felt like a seismic shift. For decades, the South China Sea was a byword for tension. Now this single piece of news suggested a different path. A path towards cooperation, perhaps even resolution. The implications were immense for the region and the world. Initial disbelief quickly gave way to a flurry of activity. Stock markets in Southeast Asia saw a positive, if hesitant, uptick. Foreign ministries across the globe issued statements. Most called for calm and further details. The Philippines government confirmed the reports. They spoke of a breakthrough. They emphasized months of quiet, painstaking diplomacy. China, too, confirmed the development. Their statements were measured. They highlighted a mutual desire for stability. They spoke of shared interests in the disputed waters. The date, June 2, 2025, will likely be etched in diplomatic history. It marks a potential turning point. The South China Sea, a cauldron of geopolitical rivalry, suddenly appeared less volatile. The agreement promised a new framework for managing disputes. It suggested a future where dialogue replaced confrontation. The world watched, holding its collective breath. The South China Sea is not merely a body of water, it is a historical crossroads. For centuries, it has been a vital channel for human movement. Ancient mariners navigated its currents. They carried goods, ideas, and cultures. Great trading empires rose and fell along its coasts. Chinese junks, Malay prahus, and Arab dhows once crisscrossed these waters. They established networks that connected civilizations. This sea has witnessed the ebb and flow of power. It has seen the rise of colonial empires and the birth of new nations. Its strategic importance cannot be overstated. Today, it is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. A significant portion of global trade passes through it. Trillions of dollars in goods transit these waters annually. Oil from the Middle East fuels East Asian economies via this route. Manufactured goods from Asia reach global markets through its channels. Any disruption in the South China Sea sends ripples through the global economy. Its stability is crucial for international commerce. Beyond its surface, the seabed is believed to hold vast reserves. Untapped oil and natural gas deposits are a major factor in the disputes. The promise of energy independence fuels national ambitions. The disputes in the South China Sea are multifaceted. They involve overlapping territorial claims. Several countries claim sovereignty over islands, reefs, and shoals. These include China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. China's claim is the most expansive. It is represented by the controversial 9-dash line. This line encompasses a vast majority of the South China Sea. It overlaps significantly with the exclusive economic zones, EEZs, of other coastal states. The Philippines' primary dispute with China centers on areas within its EEZ. This includes features like Scarborough Shoal and parts of the Spratly Islands. Manila argues that its rights under UNCLOS S are being infringed upon. In 2013, the Philippines initiated arbitral proceedings against China. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague issued a ruling in 2016. The tribunal largely invalidated China's 9-dash line claim. It affirmed the Philippines' sovereign rights in its EEZ. However, China refused to recognize or participate in the arbitration. It declared the ruling null and void. Tensions have frequently flared over the years. Incidents involving fishing vessels have been common. The newly announced agreement between China and the Philippines is a bold step. It aims to manage these complex disputes. Details are still emerging. However, key elements have been highlighted by both governments. A central component is the commitment to joint resource exploration. This specifically targets oil and gas reserves in mutually agreed upon areas. The framework for this exploration is crucial. It will need to address sensitive issues of sovereignty. It must also ensure equitable sharing of any discovered resources. Another significant pillar of the agreement is a bilateral code of conduct. This code is intended to govern the behavior of vessels from both countries. It aims to prevent incidents at sea. It will establish clear communication channels. It will also outline de-escalation protocols. The code will likely cover fishing activities. It may also address the conduct of Coast Guard and naval vessels. The agreement also reportedly includes provisions for enhanced cooperation. This cooperation extends to marine environmental protection. It also covers scientific research. These elements aim to build a broader foundation for peaceful coexistence. Furthermore, the agreement establishes a bilateral consultation mechanism. This mechanism will serve as a platform for ongoing dialogue. The Dragon's Calculus. Why China agreed? China's decision to accept the Philippines' offer is a significant strategic move. Several factors likely influenced Beijing's calculus. Firstly, growing international pressure played a role. China's assertiveness in the South China Sea had drawn criticism. It faced condemnation from various countries and international bodies. The 2016 arbitral ruling, though rejected by Beijing, continued to shape international opinion. This agreement offers China an opportunity. It can portray itself as a responsible stakeholder. It can show willingness to resolve disputes peacefully, at least bilaterally. Economic considerations are also paramount. The South China Sea is vital for China's trade. Stability in the region ensures the smooth flow of goods. It also secures energy supply routes. Furthermore, joint development offers access to much-needed resources. Tapping into potential oil and gas reserves aligns with China's energy security goals. A cooperative approach might be more economically beneficial in the long run. It avoids the costs associated with conflict and constant patrolling. It could also open new avenues for Chinese investment in the Philippines. Strategic advantages are another key driver. The agreement could be seen as a way to manage U.S. influence. Reaping the rewards. Potential benefits for both nations. The agreement holds the promise of substantial benefits for both the Philippines and China. For the Philippines, the most immediate potential gain lies in energy resource development. Joint exploration could unlock significant oil and gas reserves within its claimed areas. This could enhance the nation's energy security. It could reduce reliance on expensive imports. The revenue generated could fuel economic development. It could fund crucial infrastructure projects and social programs. Improved access and safety for Filipino fishermen is another key benefit. The agreement's code of conduct aims to protect their livelihoods. For years, Filipino fishermen have faced harassment in traditional fishing grounds. This includes areas like Scarborough Shoal. A successful agreement could restore their access. It could ensure their safety. This would have a direct positive impact on coastal communities. For China, the benefits are also compelling. Shared access to resources is an obvious advantage. It helps meet China's enormous energy demands. Reduced tensions in the South China Sea also lower the risk of conflict. Navigating domestic waters. Political tides in Manila and Beijing. The South China Sea Agreement will undoubtedly have significant political implications for leaders in both Manila and Beijing. For the Philippine administration, this deal represents a high-stakes gamble. If successful, it could be hailed as a major diplomatic triumph. The president could be seen as a pragmatic leader, one who secured tangible benefits for the nation. This includes resources and reduced tensions. However, it also carries risks. Critics might accuse the government of conceding too much to China. They might argue it compromises Philippine sovereignty. Public perception will be crucial. The Philippine leadership will need to carefully manage domestic narratives. They must demonstrate that the agreement upholds national interests. Transparency in its implementation will be key. They will face scrutiny from nationalist groups, the opposition, and the public. The legacy of the 2016 arbitral ruling remains potent. Any deal perceived as undermining that ruling will face strong headwinds. Regional tremors. The geopolitical impact of the accord. The China-Philippines agreement will send significant ripples across Southeast Asia. Other ASEAN claimant states, such as Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei, will be watching closely. The agreement could set a precedent. It might encourage similar bilateral arrangements. The reaction from major powers, particularly the United States, will be critical. The U.S. has long advocated for a rules-based order in the South China Sea. Any reduction in tensions is welcome. It might be perceived as weakening the U.S. alliance network. The long voyage ahead. Challenges and the path to lasting success. The agreement between China and the Philippines is a landmark development, but challenges remain. The history of mistrust and conflicting claims runs deep. Building genuine confidence will require sustained effort. Initial euphoria must translate into concrete actions. Any perception of bad faith could derail the process. The devil is in the details of implementation. This requires meticulous attention and commitment. Managing domestic expectations and nationalist sentiments will be crucial. Leaders must navigate these pressures carefully. Transparency is paramount to ensure the agreement's success.